So recently I went back to playing pool after a lot of years of not playing. And it's been a real struggle. My eyesight's bad. I can barely bend over far enough to shoot the balls. It's been a struggle. I don't know if I'll ever get back to playing like I think I'm supposed to, but I'm going to try. So the big question that everybody has is, what does 3D stand for? And the first thing people ask me is, what is your middle name? They know my name's David Dobb, and they're figuring my name is David Darren Dobb, and that's what 3D stands for. Nah, my name's actually David Scott Dobb, and 3D does not stand for that. So I'll go ahead, I'll give you the short answer, and that way if you don't want to watch the rest of this video, you can just click X and go on about your business. The short answer, what does 3D stand for? It stands for Dominating David Dobb. Now you know. The cat's out of the bag, the jig is up. Now, as Paul Harvey used to say, and most of y'all young people probably don't even know who Paul Harvey is. But as Paul Harvey used to say, now for the rest of the story. If you want to know how this came about, stay tuned. We'll get into that. So in 1986, the month of October, this movie came out called The Color of Money. Paul Newman, Tom Cruise. It was about pool. It was about pool hustlers, gambling, that type of thing. So in Richmond, we had two newspapers, the Times-Dispatch and the News Leader. We actually had more than two, but those were the two biggies. When the movie The Color of Money came out, I believe it was the Times-Dispatch went around the pool rooms in the state of Virginia and interviewed people for a news article that was going to be about the movie The Color of Money. And it was going to be about pool players, pool hustlers, gambling, that type of thing. So I think one of the first pool rooms that they went in to interview was the Triple Triangle. And over there they interviewed Chuck Safely. Chuck used to play mainly out of the triple. But he also played in the rec center as well. I'll put a picture of Chuck up actually playing at the rec center. So they interviewed Chuck, and of course they took a cameraman in, they took pictures. Chuck's picture, I believe it was Chuck's picture, ended up on the front page of the newspaper with the article. They went to other pool rooms and they took pictures and interviewed people. And in doing that, they ended up coming by the rec center on Forest Hill and Belt Boulevard, where I played pool myself. And I actually worked there. So when they came in, I wasn't working. I was actually on table 7 playing for money, of course. And they came in, and the owner of the pool room, Roy Tribbett, who was a phenomenal pool player himself, he was working behind the counter. And they went up to him and they asked him, would it be all right to come in and interview someone for this article They were looking for pool players, gamblers, hustlers. And so Roy said, well, that guy right over there, and he points at me, he's probably, one of the smartest hustlers in here. You ought to go talk to him. I didn't know what he was doing. I don't know why he picked me. But they came over there and interviewed me and asked me some questions. I think they asked me what I thought was the most important thing to become a good pool player, to shoot well. And if memory serves me, I think I told them that confidence in your own ability went a long way to being able to shoot well. And if I'm not mistaken, they quoted me saying that in the article. Chuck had a paragraph, and then other people had a paragraph, and then when they interviewed me, it was a little bitty paragraph, where they talked to me. And they quoted me as saying that, and they took pictures of me. My picture did not end up in the paper, but they did bring me the pictures. They took two. They brought me two black and whites, and this is them. And I was happy to get them. I have them framed, hanging on my wall. I've had them all these years. I also had a copy of the article, and now I cannot find it. So if any of you know how to get an article and get me a copy of it, that I would be so excited to get that, I wouldn't know what to do. I tried contacting different people through email at the newspaper. I couldn't even get a response. So I've just pretty much give up. Anyhow, they interviewed me, and then when they wrote the article said, it had what they quoted that I said, and then it said, and I could be a little off with this, but it should be fairly accurate. It said, dominating the play that day, 23-year-old South Richmond man, David Dobb, yada, 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 yada. I don't even remember what the rest of it was. And so dominating the play that day turned into dominating David Dobb. And that's how dominating David Dobb came about. It was kind of like a running joke because I by far was not the best player in the building. Not even when they came in to do the interview. There was other people in there that played way better than I did. Chris Tremune, he was there. He was playing on table number 9. They could have interviewed him. I think he was playing LJ at the time, and LJ played really well too. So there was a lot of players in there that actually probably played better than I did that they could have interviewed, but they didn't. They interviewed me. They said what they said, and then people was reading this newspaper. The next thing you know, I had people coming from Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C., even North Carolina. People coming from North Carolina looking for dominating David Dobb, wanting to play this guy some, right? Well, that was really not who I was looking to play, because I didn't go in the pool room to play the best player in the pool room. I was trying to make money. I was hustling pool. I was playing the average guy that walked through the door. And, you know, that's what I did, you know. Roy, he didn't like and didn't want people hustling his customers. That's what he used to say the whole time. I don't let so-and-so in here no more because he comes in here hustling my customers. But it was more about how they hustled his customers. You know, if you come in there and you make people mad, that's not good for business. And when I was hustling pool, I did everything I could not to make people mad. I mean, look, I was only 5'3", and at the time I probably weighed 100 pounds. I couldn't afford to make anybody mad. So I had to keep them laughing and keep them smiling and keep them happy while I beat them out of their money. And that's not always easy to do. But I was pretty successful because I could be quite the character. And in a lot of ways, I still can be quite the character. Later on, shortly later, not much later at all, a guy that used to come in there and play pretty regularly, he played pretty good. We called him Ace. His name was Alan Simmons. He shortened Dominating David Dive down to 3D. And I was 3D ever since. And that's how I became 3D. So now you know. I hustled a lot of people, but I tried to do it in a way that was not malicious. And majority of the people that I played came back day after day, week after week, month after month, and played me again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And a good portion of those people became really strong pool players. Some of them were so strong that I couldn't beat them anymore. I had to stop playing them. They just played too good. I still, because obviously I couldn't play people that just walked in off the street all the time. So I had to play the guys that could play. Once I got past that point, especially, I was having to play guys that could play better. And sometimes it worked out and sometimes it didn't. Now, one of the hustles that I did to get games with these people that just came in off the street, and it's kind of comical, but normally when people would come in off the street and play, they'd come in groups of twos and they'd play each other 8-ball, because most of them didn't even know anything about 9-ball. They just knew 8-ball. They'd come in and they'd play 8-ball, and I'd go over and talk to them, engage them in conversation, and laugh and joke and carry on. And a lot of times they would have seen me play, so they knew I could play. And I would say, y'all want to gamble for a couple dollars, it'll really, it'll help your game. And you get to a shot, you don't know how to shoot it, just ask me and I'll tell you how to shoot it. I'll be honest with you and tell you how I would shoot it. I give you some options. I help you the best I can. And a lot of times they would say, well, we were just going to playing each other, Well, if they're playing 8-ball, You know, if they're playing 9-ball, then I would suggest playing a ring game where we'd all three play a ring game. But most of those guys played 8-ball. So what I would say is, well, you know, I tell you what, let's play teams. You two guys play me, and y'all can pick out anybody in the room to be my partner, and that'll be my partner, and that'll be my handicap, and we'll play. And I wouldn't even give them a chance to point somebody out. I would be scanning the room, and I'd say, heck, I'll take that little skinny little girl sitting over there. That girl sitting over there at the counter. I'd say, hey, come here. What's your name? And she'd get up and walk over there, and I'd say, these guys want to play for a couple dollars, but I need a partner. Would you like to be my partner? And she would she would play the fragile female that really didn't care anything about pool, didn't know how to play. But it was April Swoop, and she had been playing pool as a funsy player for, you know, a few years. Her and her boyfriend used to come up there when they was in high school and play. So I knew her. And she had just started getting more serious about playing, and I had tried to help her some, and some of the other players in the pool room that were better than me had been helping her, and her game was really improving rapidly. And so, you know, she could play, you know, but she was, you know, acting like, you know, I acted like I didn't even know who she was. She acted like she didn't know who I was. And she was just some fragile ding-a-ling girl that couldn't play a lick. And we would end up just cleaning them up. I mean to tell you, we really worked them over good. And we made a point not to make anybody mad. You know, we made sure it was fun, and, you know, it was a good laugh, and, you know, nobody really lost enough money to really get upset and vindictive over. In fact, a lot of them would come back and want a rematch, you know. So that was pretty cool. But I just thought y'all might enjoy that story. Some of you probably know April Swoop. She's remarried now. I think her last name now is Thomas, or something like that. Thompson. I can't remember. But anyway, a wonderful person, a good friend. I can't imagine my life back then not knowing April. She really was a genuine person. And she was a good friend. And we had a lot of fun and a lot of laughs over the years, her and I, in the pool hall. And I think a lot of April. Like a little sister to me, really. Like, you know, like a sister to me. Honestly, better than a sister. We had a good time. So, April, if you're watching this, thank you for, you know, a lifetime of laughs, because I still laugh when I think about those times that we had. You know, it meant a lot. It meant a lot. Anyway, hopefully April won't mind me sharing this. I will put a phone call to her and reach out to her and let her know that I mentioned her in the video. So if she says no, then y'all won't see this. It'll be edited out. But I don't think she'll have a problem with it, because she brought it up to me probably 10, 15 years ago was the last time I seen her. And she brought it up to me. I went to a Christmas party at her house. That was I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. And she brought it up at the Christmas party. We had a good laugh about it. But, yep, that was just one of many hustles that went on in the pool room. And, you know, I may make another video and share some other little hustles that we did, and maybe share some pictures of some people from in there. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate your time. I know this video probably went on too long, but you know, if you want to know, you want to know. Maybe you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, leave a comment. Let me know you enjoyed the video. I'm not sure where I'm going to post this video. I thought about on my Facebook, but you know, I've got a YouTube channel. I may toss it on the YouTube channel, and that way I can share the link with pretty much anybody, and then they can just, you know, check it out if they want to at their own leisure or whatever. So anyhow, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the pool room.